just before Christmas, we actually were blessed with a little Christmas miracle. Gray received a text message saying your visa application has been sent back to the agency. And we were like, what does that mean?
And at that moment, I was cornered because I was caught in the moment.
We really didn't expect this would happen, but just before Christmas, we actually were blessed with a little Christmas miracle. As you guys know, over the past few weeks, we have been quite stressed. We've been under a lot of pressure. We've been quite nervous because of our plans for Christmas and what is actually going to happen to Gray's Schengen visa. When we applied for a Schengen visa, we were quite late already just because it was difficult to make plans far ahead of time, and we had to hand in the application with less time than they actually say is the minimum processing time for the Schengen visa. But the stars did align, and
a few days ago, I received the news that my visa is approved for Europe. And it was a lot of stress before it got to that point. But now everything went well and everything went according to plan. And we're gonna be spending Christmas in Europe with Mike's family.
Now, the reason why it made us so nervous is last year when we did the Schengen visa application, the embassy did actually call for some clarifications, ask for some additional documents.
No, actually, we called the embassy last time because it took so the usual processing days is 10 days, and it was already on the 8th day, and we still have not received anything from the embassy. We have not received anything from the agency, which is VFS as well. So we were quite anxious, and we decided to call the embassy to track our application and to check on the status of the application. And that's when we were told that they said they sent us an email to provide additional requirements, which I have not received the email. And as it turns out, my email address was incorrect, and it was only 2 days before we fly then to Austria, which the embassy said, all right, just submit the additional requirements that we would need. And that's how it happened last year. But it was quite a havoc as well. It was quite chaotic last year as well. So that's something that got us nervous as well this time.
Yeah, the big difference between last year and this year is because we had zero communication with the embassy. And then out of the blue, out of nowhere, Gray received a text message saying your visa application has been sent back to the agency. And we were like, what does that mean? It doesn't say your passport is sent back or your processed visa is sent back. It just said your application has been sent back.
It says it has been patched to
dispatched.
VFS. Dispatched.
Yeah, so we didn't
VFS.
know what was going on. We were quite nervous, and then we drove to VFS immediately, and lo and behold, it was her passport with the approved Schengen visa. And at that moment, we kind of both were really just overwhelmed with emotions because we had been so nervous and so anxious about this whole process, but this year actually went smoother and easier than it did the year before. And I believe that next year again it will be easier because we have such a good track record of traveling. There are stamps in the passport, we never overstay, so that's a very, very good sign.
So also part of the reason why I was anxious about it is when I submitted my documents in the agency, she advised me that there was a holiday on the 8th of December, which only gives the embassy 8 days, and she asked me, would you like to proceed? And at that moment, I was cornered because I was caught in the moment because of course I want to proceed with the application, but also I don't want to risk it so it would be rejected because there's only 8 days for the embassy. That was a huge part of why I was stressing out a lot about my visa this time. But as I said, I had clean records. Whatever I said to the immigration, the date that I would return, I always returned on that date. I never extended in any country that I've visited. And yeah, I guess that's also partly, you know, they can see that on the stamps in my passport. So maybe that's also another factor that added to my visa getting approved this time.
And it takes us to a very exciting phase of our Christmas, and that is planning the trip to Europe. What are we going to do? What are we going to see? What are the places that we're going to get to explore? And we just wanted to share with you guys a little bit what our plans are so far. So because it's such a big process of getting the Schengen visa, and it is of course also a financial expenditure, you have to pay for the application fees and so on, we want to make the most of this Schengen visa and we want to explore as much as possible. So we thought of what places can we visit that are included in the Schengen zone. And so far, obviously we're going to celebrate Christmas with my parents in Austria, with my family in Austria. But on our way to Austria, we're actually going to have a stop in Istanbul where we're going to spend 2 days. If you have a Schengen visa, you can apply for an e-visa for Turkey, which is really easy. So we're going to explore Istanbul. And then after Christmas, we might travel to a cool city in Europe for New Year's Eve. We were thinking potentially Amsterdam, and then traversing with the train between Amsterdam and Paris. Also a destination that has been on my bucket list for many, many years is Iceland. And I saw recently that Iceland is part of the Schengen area, which would enable us to fly from Europe to Iceland and explore for a little bit.
Definitely, I want to see more countries this time that I have not seen last year, which is France, Netherlands. I have not seen those countries, and Iceland, as you mentioned.
UK would have been nice to visit as well, but unfortunately it's not part of the Schengen zone, and it's a whole different application. I don't know if we can apply from Austria for your UK visa, so unfortunately UK will have to be on our next trip. But a big question is like, what places would you guys like us to visit here in Europe, mainland of Europe? Scandinavia, obviously, everything that's included in the Schengen area. What are some spots that you guys are interested in seeing on the vlog? What are some spots that would excite you? What are some foods that you would like us to try? But also, like, what would you like to see from Austria? What would you like us to show you from our trip to Austria? Let us know in the comment section down below.
Must say, I'm very excited for this Christmas trip, and it is really a Christmas miracle for us because we really were just anxious waiting for it.
So we really haven't made any decisions yet on where we're going to spend New Year's Eve. If you guys live in Europe, or if you have any recommendations or suggestions of cool cities or places in Europe that would be nice to visit during New Year's Eve, please let us know down in the comments down below, because I don't know, I have no clue at the moment. I just thought Amsterdam, because the flights are quite cheap from Austria right now, but we're still completely open. And that being said, we didn't mention yet how long that we are staying in Europe. We actually have an entire month in Europe, so we're going to be here for quite some time. We're going to have a lot of opportunities to explore, and we can explore by plane, by train, by car. There's actually an endless onslaught of opportunities on how to explore. And another good reason for us to be on the road for so long is actually we are moving out of our condo in Manila, as you know, and we've done a lot of packing and preparations for the place. We've refurbished the furniture there, we've cleaned everything up nicely, so now property viewings can start at the unit. If any of you guys are interested in renting or buying our condo in St. Moritz, it is officially on the market. I'll put some details in the description box down below. You can reach out for a viewing, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact that email address down below. So hopefully when we get back, the place is already either rented out or sold, and our adventures in the Philippines can start. We were talking to Kim and Tom recently about potentially maybe going to Siargao for an entire month, renting a house and just staying on the island for a month, just for a change of scenery, to get out of the city, to be more connected to nature, and to plan content for the year to come, because it is a big part of our job is actually at the beginning of the year to take the time to plan out that year and, you know, find a way to bring the best content for you guys. And we are planning on doing some changes in the way that we are doing our content on this channel, so I don't want to give anything away yet, but there are going to be some exciting changes coming very soon.
But also, since our flight departs on the 19th of December, we want to make an effort as well to see my family, to see some of our few friends, which you guys will see. We organized something that I'm sure you guys would enjoy. We want to have our last Noche Buena in the Philippines before we leave. And by the way, before we get any questions about who's gonna take care of Peanut,
Jay's gonna take care of Peanut.
You don't worry about that. Uncle Jay is coming to town to take care of Peanut while we're away. The entire month that we're gonna be away, Peanut's gonna be well taken care of by Jay with Mindy.
Yeah, Peanut's Tito is gonna take care of her.
Exactly.
All right, guys. If you're excited for the Europe vlog series, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also, if I've seen a lot of you guys haven't seen our last seasick video that we filmed at Anling Loosings. It'll pop up right here. Definitely head over and watch that video. I think something went wrong with the notifications with that one.
By the way, any OFWs, any overseas Filipinos that have been in Europe for a while, I'm pretty sure Europe is very cold at this time. So any advice, tips for me to stay warm in such a cold country, let me know.
One of the most beautiful spots to camp out that I've experienced in quite a while. Due to the incredible kindness of Filipinos, we were able to just camp out at the back of somebody's house. Came here very last minute, very late. It was night already. It was so nice sleeping in here last night. This guy back here